I'm Claire from Created the Ottaway. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up in the UK. Thank you for joining me. This is my weekly craft along video. I like to bring you something different every week, a fun fold, a bit of a wow on the inside. Sometimes it's a box or a card or a bit of home decor. Today's make is this diamond fold card. Now there are loads of diamond fold cards around. There's really intricate triple panelled ones, double panelled, pop-up diamonds, all sorts of things. And I thought I'd just take it right back to basics and just show you how you can make a simple basic diamond fold card, but give it a bit of a wow just with the embellishments that you used. So a couple of weeks ago I did an easel card and it had this decoration on it, and I had some really lovely feedback around it, and I really am in love with these centre circle dies, and I thought I would just share them with you again and just show you, even though it's a diamond shape, it lends itself really well to these beautiful circles. So all it is, it's a standard UK size, slightly smaller, but what happens is you pull it apart, because mine sort of tucks in together, and it's like that. So it's like one big piece of card, okay, but you get a bit of a wow when you open it. Can you see? Do you think it's a wow? I love it. I've done a few different tips and tricks along as we go, and I'll talk you through those. The sentiment that I've used, I've actually tripled it, so you get a really good 3D effect. I don't know if you can see that. I've just layered it on top of each other, and this one I've done as a happy birthday one, and we're going to make a slightly different one in a minute, which I'll talk you through. I've just layered the circles on top here, and I've used some dies and embellishments there. I'm not sure what to put in the middle. I was going to stamp on it, and then I thought the rest of it isn't stamped, so will that look odd? And then what colour do I stamp? The basic beige would be nice, I don't know. On this card I just chose to use hearts because it was a wedding or anniversary card, and I was going to put the hearts on here, but it didn't quite seem right. What I'm tending to think is that I'm going to do some of these flowers but in the basic beige, and sort of do opposite and do the leaves in white and just do a little bit of a design on there. But I'm so excited that I just wanted to get on and show you how to make this. So this will stand, it will stand on the side just like that, and it's one of those cards that doesn't really need an explanation of how do you open it and what bit goes where. It just stands really lovely, and it looks a little bit unique, so I'm hoping that you will like it. So let me put that to one side. I'm sure I will refer to it again and again. I used a few different things in it. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator. I love Stampin' Up products, their dies, their coordination. Oh, honestly, I could go on and on, but I really do love their stuff. So I have used country lace paper. That's on page 51. If you've got a catalogue, go and have a look at it. You don't really get how lovely it is. It's really good background paper, but it lifts everything else off. It's teamed alongside the Country Woods paper, which we're actually going to use in a minute, and they're really effective. Really perfect for lots of home decor projects as well. And then these are the circles that I've used. Now, you can't really see how many you get there. I mean, you sort of can, but when you get them in the pack, they come like this, and there are loads of them. I think we worked out there was 12 last time, so I'm not going to bore you and count them again. But there's different designs. So there's designs that have just got that round the edge, ones that have got a bit of a leaf going on, and then a sort of dot and dash sign design as well. So literally you could use that for any card. You could use it for kids cards, wedding cards, anniversary cards, all sorts, for any person. If you've got somebody difficult to create for, just layer up these circle dies and you'll be well away. So that's from the Spotlight on Nature page. So page 69 for those. You can shop with me in the UK if you like what I use. at createtheottaway.co.uk and just select the shop tab. Do I need to tell you anything else? I don't want to go on and on. The other things I used is these two dies, which are out of the Lifetime of Love set. It's really nice set, but I've actually just used these two dies, so let's show you those. And then for the celebrate, or the happy birthday that I used on this one, okay, so you've got happy and birthday. I've used this die set, which is wanted to say. So you get the bit that says happy birthday, and then you can layer it up with an outline. But there's also a celebrate in there and a you're too kind. I was trying to read it upside down. Could you tell my pause? And feel better soon. So I've mainly used the celebrate actually. I've used it for lots of different cards, but I thought I would see what the happy birthday came out like, and that is what I've used on this one. I think on the card we're going to make, I'm going to use the celebrate. The flowers this time I've used from this set. Now obviously you can use any of the flowers you've got. It's the Country Flowers dies, just because you can die cut loads all in one go, and they're a really nice detail on them that seem to lend itself well with the encircled in, no, oh god, something in nature dies. Let me have a look. What's it called? It's too many similar sounding words. Okay, spotlight on nature. Spotlight. It's circles, isn't it? Spotlight, not circles. Spotlight and nature dies. Okay, now we've got past those tongue twisters. Should we create together? Let's just get on and craft. So I'm going to put that out the way again. I'm going to put that there because you can connect with me through Facebook, Instagram, or just email. This is the sizes that we need. So I've done them in centimetres and inches. Apart from that one I've just noticed, I'm sure you can work out one measurement. So I'm going to probably follow inches today, or speak out loud inches, but if you screenshot that, and I haven't put diamond, goodness me, I was in a rush, wasn't I? Yes, screenshot that, stop talking, and then we can get on and make together. So what do we need? I've got Stampin' Up trimmer that's got a cutter and a scorer, which is great for this project. The first thing we are going to need is some card that is 5 7/8 by 11 1/4. Now I think I'd already done the 5 7/8. So yeah, so all I'm doing is just using this this ruler line along here with the measurements in centimetres and inches. But I'm finding 5 7/8, and I've just already cut that off. It's also got a handy little arm that comes out, so you can cut bigger pieces of paper, and this needs to be 11 1/4. So I don't think I did this. Yeah, so 11 1/4, and I just cut that tiny piece off. Now that's perfect size to put a sentiment on something, isn't it? You don't have to be trimming things off. So I've got a jar that I put them in, or a little jug actually. I got a thing about jugs, and I just stand it up in there, and when I want a piece of white that's a narrow size, I'm already good to go. What do we do next? Score lines. So these are the score lines that we need. I'm just going to put that arm in because you'll be able to see a bit better. So I've got the long piece at the top. Doesn't matter which side, it's just white card. I'm using white because it will show up better for you. And I'm going to score at 1 7/8. So 1 7/8. Okay, and then the next one is 3 3/4. So 3 3/4. Then I'm going to spin it completely round and do that the same on the other side. I just find it's making it easier for everybody, just if you're just repeating the same measurements. So 1 7/8 and 3 3/4. Right, I just realised I haven't stabilised my camera. I'm just just going to do that, and hopefully you won't get a jumping around bit. Okay, so both sides have got 1 7/8 and 3 3/4, and you're left with this big panel in the middle. Now we need to do a little score line at the top and the bottom. So I'm using my running line, and I am finding 5 5/8. So 5 5/8. So I'm putting the edge of my card to 5 5/8, and I'm just using this little embossing tool just to put a mark there where my running line is, and a mark there. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's just a tiny little mark there and there, and I've got a score line there, 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 and there. Okay, what I'm going to do is show you this, which shows you what I'm aiming to do next. So again, hopefully you can see it because it's white, but I've got that score line, and I've made a diagonal score from there to my first score line. Okay, so this is my first score line. I just fold that back so you can see. And I've gone from the middle of my card basically, and I've scored it there. And then I've gone from this score line here, so the first score line over here where this side panel is, and I've gone to the middle again. So I've done these 2 score lines here, and then I've gone from the first score line again back to the middle, and then from this last score line to the middle, and what you're left with is this diamond shape. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that there so you can digest that. So I've got my score lines here, there, one there, one there, one there, one there, and then what I need to do is put a cross here, but no scoring in this one. Okay, so I'll show you that in slow motion now. So, or as slow as I can. I should have cleaned my trimmer off, it's got some glue on it. So we're going to look at this score line here. So my very first score line, okay, I want to go from this score line here, go across the second one, and meet up with that little mark that I've done there. So in order to do that, so from that score line there to the middle, I need to cross through the second score line. So I use my running guide here where my blade would run in, and I line up this mark here. Let me see if you can see. Line up that mark there on my running guide. Okay, just use that as a placeholder, and then I bring it round there until it's lined up there, because I'm going to go across that line. And then please make sure you've got your scorer and not your cutter, and I just go over it a few times, and you can see hopefully that there's a score line there. Yeah? Okay. So next thing I am going to do is turn it that way, and this time I'm going to do from this score line to here, so that there's a big X going through the second score line. So again, I line it up there, and then I bring this round so it's lined up there. Put that down, make sure I'm using the scorer, which is the light grey one, and I just put that mark there. And then you can see I've got a cross with a line going through the middle. Oh, breathe. Okay, so we've got one panel with nothing, and then one panel that meets in the middle there because there's a cross going across it. Right, we're going to do that again on this side. So we're looking at this side, we're looking at the score line, the very first score line. I'm looking at the top, and I'm just going to place that on the runner, and then what I'm going to do is meet up the middle of there. So I bring it round to there, so I can see it's going to go through my second score line, and I just score that, and there you've got the bottom of your diamonds, which means you can straight away see where the next line has to be. So it goes from the middle here down to the first panel. So I'm going to line that up there, line that up there. And make sure I'm using my scorer. And that is it. Oh, ta-da! Not quite, eh? Okay. So what you end up with is a diamond in the middle. These two side panels are like triangles, and these pieces are like an arrow pointing to the middle. Now I've done this quite a few times, this card, and honestly every time I do it different, but I think the best thing to do is probably decorate it when it's flat and then do all the burnishing. So that's what we're going to do. I really like the Country Woods paper from Stampin' Up. Why do I like it? Because it's all woods like this. It's really lovely. Both sides are different. I also like Granny Apple Green, so I'm going to team that with some green. And because the card is white, I want to do another layer of paper, designer series paper, to stand out. So I'm using this one from the Country Lace. Now I could have gone with the grey, but I think it's too much of the contrast, whereas this one just really stands out. It's really subtle. There's quite a few different shades of it in the pack. Country Lace, not countryside, Country Lace. Okay, so what do we need to do to cover this card in designer series paper? You need a couple of panels. So I've decided that my front panel is wood and it's going to stand up. Now the size of this is 3.5 inches by 5 5/8. If you're doing it in centimetres, it's 8.9 centimetres by 14.3. And then what we need to do is work out halfway both ways. So I'm going to bring this back in again. So halfway for me is 1 3/4 across. So I'll put that on there, 1 3/4, and I'll just put a little mark there and at the bottom. And then if I turn it sideways, it's 2 13/16, which is, oh, that's a horrible measurement, isn't it? So 2 13, did I work out what that was? No, I didn't. Let's have a look what it was. So it's a 7.2 by the looks of it. 7.2. So if it's easier for you to do that one in centimetres, it's 7.2. So all you're doing is putting a little mark in those 4 places, top and bottom, left and right. And then you're going to match up this to there. So I'm doing what I did just now. I'm placing it on the running, making sure it's lined up. And this time I'm using my cutter. But what I tend to do is put my blade in the middle, cut down and up. And then I don't have any dented in corners. Okay, so that's one bit. We're going to need those bits, so keep hold of that. I'm going to turn it to this side and do that side there, to there. Again, put the blade in the middle, up and down. That's that one. And then I'm going to spin it round because it's easier to do it. So I need to go from that point to, oh, where is it? There. It's a bit tricky to see on this wood paper, sorry. That's going to go there, to there. And then the last one, can you see how clever that is, that the diamond shape appears? Takes all the stress away, doesn't it? You don't have to try and keep measuring and sorting out which bit isn't the right length. And look, if we're really lucky now, which we definitely are, that is going to fit exactly in the middle. Now that's definitely a ta-da moment. Okay, I'm going to stick that on before I do anything else. Okay. So this is a new glue, so it's going to come flooding out. Because this has got points as well, you really want to get right down to the points, because what you don't want is it peeling back after a couple of open and closes. Okay, so that's just going to go like there, and you're just centralising it like that. Okay, now these, what should we do next? I think we do these bits. So there's like half a diamond here and half a diamond here. Now I would like that to be a contrast, so I'm using this paper. So it's exactly the same size. So it was 3.5 by 5 5/8. And then what I'm doing is cutting it in, or marking where it is halfway. So 1 3/4, top and bottom, and 2 13/16, top and bottom. Okay, and I'm going to cut off the diamond shape again. So there and there. Again, I'm going to keep those because we're going to need those in a minute. There's no waste on this card, which is fabulous. So some of the diamond cards that I've seen are, or actually that I've made as well, are quite small. They're sort of, they feel quite small cards, as in they don't stand very tall. When I was making this, I wanted to make a bigger one, so I adjusted all the sizes and had a bit of a play, and then realised why they're quite small, which I'll explain in a minute. So you get to that point, you've got your diamond. Now obviously the panels that we want are only half of a diamond. So how do you cut half of a diamond? Well, there's all sorts of things you can do. The easiest thing I've found is to actually use your trimmer. So I'm looking where the cutting line is, but I'm also using this line across as well to make sure that my diamond is level. Okay, so the point is there and the point is there, but actually it's too far over. So I'm going to come over again, and I'm going to try and make sure that it's straight. Now, remember I said use the cutting line? Well, we need it slightly smaller than just in half. So I'm using this line here on the edge of my trimmer, and I'm looking here to make sure that that's lined up as well. The point, I'm looking to line up the point there, and I'm going to use that as my guide. And that's one side, okay, and then I'm going to spin it round, and I'm going to do the other one at the same time, and I'm going to use the same trick. So I'm lining it up along here, okay, but I'm also making sure that the point is along this line here, because then that's, you've got a better chance of making sure it's straight. You really do have to hold it in place to start with though. That's going up and down, and you take off such a tiny sliver. If you had to cut that off, oh, how stressful would that be? Okay, so they're my side bits. So they are going there and there, and I'm going to stick those on exactly the same. I wasn't sure if this paper would go together, but actually I really do like it. I really hope that this works out, because I saw the colours and thought, ooh, what can I put with those colours? So that's just going to go in that one, and I'm going to do the same on this side. And then we've got those tricky little triangles. Okay, so bring that off, and that will go there. And you can just wiggle it about because it is Tombow. And just make sure that it's all stuck down before you start manipulating it. So what I'm left with, because I've decided to do different colours, I'm left with these, although they're two-sided, 4 of those and 4 of those. Now, they fit here. Okay, I just need to decide where I want them. I actually don't know, so I think I'm going to put them there, and there and there, so that it has a nice effect when you open it. And then these ones are going to fill in the panels in there. Now these are the right size, almost exactly. So you might find that you want to trim those triangles down if you're not happy about them not having much of a border on them. I decided not to. I think crafting life should be stress-free. So, and if I spend like an hour trying to get a straight line, and if you're going to do it, I would suggest you do it on the straight bits, so along there and along there, and leave the diagonal. Right, it's just going to go there, but I really didn't feel like I needed to do that. So you will see when I open it up, you can have a look and judge for yourself what you want on yours. Some people really like really crisp borders that are the same on the whole thing. Other people are just enjoying the crafting moment and want something that looks good. And there's no right or wrong. Remember, I'll show you how to make this card, but this card is your card. You turn it into what you need it to be and decorate it in your style. I don't think I've got a style actually, because I like trying so many different things, but I have been told I do have a style. My style is stress-free crafting. Let's have fun with it. If it's stressful, you shouldn't be doing it. Walk away from it. Look, now that doesn't look quite right, does it? Does it look all right to you? We'll see when I fold it in a minute. Okay. Because that's the thing, it won't be until we burnish it in a minute that I'll go, oh, I should have trimmed that one. So I tell you what, learn from my mistakes. Make this one with me. Hope you've got a nice cuppa and you're sitting and enjoying watching. And then you can go, I remember when Claire did hers, didn't look quite right, so I'm going to trim mine down before I do that. There's a lot of glue, isn't there, coming out? It's also because I'm holding it up in the air. What do I always say? Put it down flat, use less glue. See, that's quite tight there. We can make it work, don't worry. It's because the paper is dark, so it really stands out, whereas on my other one, you really didn't notice it. And actually, on the lighter one, you don't notice. But this dark paper, you definitely do notice if it's close up. Okay, we're nearly there. Then we get the fun of decorating it. So you can see there's just 2 side panels to do, and they are what you see when the card is closed. So think about how you want that to look. So I have done mine in this paper. So again, I've used the Country Woods paper, and they are 1 3/4 by 5 3/4. And you need 2 of those. And then I think we might be there. Let's hope anyway. Nearly there. And the next one. At the moment, I'm feeling a bit nervous, like I'm not sure whether I'm actually liking this wood with the cream. I'm not sure. What do you think? I do like the wood, but is it gonna stand out enough on this card? Should I have used a different paper? Okay, so I'm just going to leave that to set for 1 minute. Okay, just make sure all of those are all down in all areas, and then I'll get my bone folder and we'll work on it. So these need to come round the side bits. So they are going to go like that, and I'm just going to burnish those with my bone folder, this one and this one, just like so. Okay, now obviously we don't want to do anything with the diamond, so I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to burnish the diamond. So I do that by doing along one side and along the other side, okay, like so. So it's like the longest score line right across, like that. So I open that out. You can see I've done that one and that one. Now I'm going to fold it the other way and do that one and that one. Okay, and then that one. You can tell straight away which ones you haven't burnished. That one and that one. Okay, let's see what happens to the card then. So the diamond wants to pop forward, but it doesn't, if I leave it a minute, wants to pop forward, but these bits are stopping it. So we are just going to also burnish those ones. Okay, just like that. And this side. I'm doing them both ways because I want there to be quite a bit of movement on my card. I don't want it to be stiff. Okay, now can you see what's happening? Did I do that one? I don't know if I did it that way. Let's have a look. Because basically what you're doing is helping the paper know where you want it to fold it. Okay, so that folds in like that. Now remember me saying to you that there's lots of diamond cards, but they're usually sort of shorter. They're about 4 inches tall, which is fine, but I wanted a big standing up card. So what happens with mine, when you put it together, it gets in each other's way. So what happens is you need to tuck it in, okay, which is quite a nice feature in that the card locks together. So you do that, make sure that it locks in like that, and there is your diamond card. Okay, so you put it in the envelope like that, and then when you open it, you pull it apart like that, and that really is a ta-da. So how do I decorate it? I've done loads of circles, I've done lots of different colours, and I've sort of had a play around before the video started to see what I wanted to do. So I really want the wood to stand out, so I've used the biggest circle, and I've just used white on that one. I'm going to fold it down flat again so you can see what I'm doing, and I'm just making sure that that circle is in the middle there. Now the only thing I didn't check was if I'd bought any dimensionals through, but it doesn't look like I have, so we're going to improvise. I've got some sticky pads, I'm going to use those. So the next one to go on I've done in wood. Oh, so I'm just going to put some sticky pads on that. Probably can't see this, can you? Let me move it a bit forward. So that I am putting on dimensionals, or an equivalent of dimensionals. That goes on there. Then I've got a white piece which is going on next. Okay, so again I'm just putting some sticky pads on the back of there. It hasn't got any weight on it, it's not holding any weight. The sticky pads that I'm using are quite big, so I'm just going to put that like so. And then the very top one, I think I might just put that on with glue. because I don't want that floating too wide. So that's going to go there. And then I am going to put on some hearts. But this time I think I'm going to put the hearts on that white. Oh look, there's one there. So one like that. And there is another one here somewhere. Let's put that one on to start with. Okay, so I'm just putting one on with glue. That's probably too much glue. One on with glue like that. Make sure that that's straight. And then the other one on with a little bit of a sticky pad on the back, just to raise it up. Is that too wide? Let's have a look. Oh, we nearly dropped the heart. Just about the right size. So that's going to go there. Okay. Too much glue on the heart. There you go. So that's that. That looks nice, doesn't it? Okay, so the side bit, celebrate. So what I've done is die cut 3 celebrate dies. Let's move them over. So I've got 3 of them. And here's the last one. And they've all been die cut from card that has got the adhesive sheets from Stampin' Up. So basically it turns your die cut into a sticker. So you just put them on the back of your card and then die cut it through, and now my celebrate is sticky. Okay, you can see it's sticking to me. I'm just going to poke the extra bits out because we don't want those in there. What you like with your die cutting? Do you go through and poke everything out? Do you get your other half to do it? My husband Paul's very good at it. I think he finds it quite therapeutic. Sometimes I say to him, you don't need to die cut all those out, and he's like, oh well, I've done it now. Oh, there's still a bit there. Didn't want to come out, did it? Okay, there's another one there. Right, so I put that there and I'm going to line it up, but I'm going to line it up with the second letter, so with the E. Okay, remember it's turned it into a sticker, so everywhere I press it's going to stick. So I'm trying to do it one letter at a time. I'm concentrating on one letter. It doesn't matter if you're slightly over because that can add to the effect, but you don't want to be right off. Okay, so there's that one. See, that C is a bit over. I can push that under. And then the next one, I'm going to put that over the top as well. So when I pull that off, most of those other bits come out. I'm going to do that the same, find the E bit. So I realised I've gone really quiet where I'm concentrating. That is going on there. But that's how you do the 3D layering with your dies. That's tucked around, so I'm just going to bring that to there. Look at that. It's really hard for you to see it on camera, but it really is effective. Even more effective if you do it flat on the table, not up in the air like I am. Okay, last E. That's really sticking to me. Like that. So the back one has also got sticky stuff on, so if I pull that off now, that is ready to go. So I am just going to work out where I want that, probably there, and it will stick exactly in place like that. Job done. Okay, so all that's left for me to do is add some greenery, because I think that will really make it pop. I'm using these leaves, and all I'm doing is putting some glue along the central branch. So I didn't put adhesives on this adhesive sheet because I don't want it to stick all over. I just want it to stick in one place. And I'm using that branch round the circle like so. Okay, so I'm just following the circle round with the branch like that. I'm going to do a couple more of them, and then I've got some flowers, and I will finish this. I'll put some flowers on there as well. I'll finish that and show you. Okay, so I think we've got a ta-da moment. I will finish it off and post a photo, so look out for it on Instagram or Facebook. But that just folds back on itself. Make sure it's locking in, like so. And this is the second one. So what do you think? Ta-da! I hope you've loved watching this. I'm sure this video has gone on far longer than I planned it to, but hopefully you've enjoyed it and it has inspired you. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook or Pinterest. Come and have a chat. Shop with me at createtheottaway.co.uk. Thanks for watching. Bye.